Tonight we are going to solve the mystery of Harold Holt. Hello, my name is Greg Kading. I'm a retired LAPD detective. I retired back in 2010, and now I find myself in Australia. I'm on a speaking tour talking about the murders of Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur. On December 17th of 1967 at approximately 12:15 p.m., while holidaying near Port C, Victoria, Harold Holt suggested that he and the four friends, including Marjorie Gillespie, his alleged mistress, stopped at Cheviot Beach for a swim as he wanted to cool down and work up an appetite before lunch. I don't think there's anything suspicious about stopping and going for a swim. I do question why you would have your mistress with your friends, because obviously you're not keeping that very concealed. But maybe everybody knew he had a mistress and it wasn't a big secret. Holt knew this area well and had swum there many times before. Holt did not hesitate in entering the water, despite a large swell and visible currents. Well, if he's familiar with the place and he's swum there many times before, it gave him maybe a false sense of security, maybe realizing not really respecting and appreciating how large the swells are or these visible currents. The others called out to him, but he did not raise his arms or cry for help. He soon slipped under the waves and out of sight, in a manner which Marjorie Gillespie described as like a leaf being taken out, so quick and final. The search for Holt's body began at 1:30 p.m. when three amateur divers entered the water and found it too rough until they were joined by police divers, helicopters, and two naval diving teams. Yeah, it looks like they, well, let's see, it's 1:30. Not that much time has passed from the time he was last seen to the time that they get professionals out there. You've got helicopters, naval diving teams, police divers, and these amateur divers. Little progress was made. Due to the rough conditions and limited equipment available, by the end of the day, there were more than 190 personnel involved, with the number eventually increasing to more than 340. That's a massive search team, especially to search an area that is defined. You know, it's not like an open forest, it's a defined area where he was last seen. Yeah. The search for Holt's body was officially called off on January 5th of 1968. Although it had been gradually scaled back to the point where it consisted only of a daily beach patrol. Yeah, at some point in time you have to realize that your efforts are futile. Holt was then announced death in absentia. So the first of the conspiracy theories is that Holt faked his own death in order to defect to China and was collected by divers who dragged him to a submarine. However, experts doubt that a submarine could be positioned so close to the shore. Holt's wife, Zara, was quoted saying that her husband didn't even like Chinese food. That's not a defense, but at the same time, you would have to come up with a whole bunch of more plausible reasons why he would do this. Why are you faking your death? Why would you do it in this manner? Again, you know, there are small submersibles, you know, that potentially, you know, people assume that all submarines are massive. So, conspiracy theory number 2 is that the CIA assassinated Holt because the United States were worried that he would pull Australia out of Vietnam. I don't know. If the CIA was going to assassinate Holt, they wouldn't do it where there's 5 potential witnesses on the shore. You know, there'd have been a lot more Jason Bourne about it, I think. So the last of these explanations is that Holt actually simply drowned. Literally, a day before he died, an Australian newspaper headline read, "Prime Minister advised to swim less," citing his doctor's advice, and Holt was allegedly quoted telling his press secretary, Tony Eggleton, "Look, Tony, what are the odds of a prime minister being drowned or taken by a shark?" The irony of it all. There was those very similar allegations about the United States government assassinating Tupac Shakur because he, was a future potential threat because he was going to lead a black activist movement, something, you know, along those lines. You know, of course, we've got the conspiracy theory that Tupac Shakur is still alive and living in Cuba. And so you can build a conspiracy theory off just about anything and then selectively take information to support that and develop a plausible theory. I think Suge Knight probably killed Harold Holt.